Welcome back to Strings and Pucks. This is Jeremy Laura, the stuttering guitarist. If you're new here or if you haven't, please please subscribe. Thank you to everybody who stopped by with the preseason opening up. So tonight, a little bit of a different story. Detroit scores 5 goals, but they lose 6-5. Dallas scores 4 goals in the final frame. There's some positives, but there's also some concern, and I'll get to that in a minute. First, I want to give some positives. There is no player more visible for 200 feet in this prospect class than Nate Danielson. He scored a goal tonight. Instead, last night he was lugging the piano with a couple assists. He has this incredible sweeping shot where it literally looks like he's using a broom, and he gets this strange snap and misdirection on the puck when he shoots it toward the net. So he cashes in off of a nice feed from Brandsegg-Nygard for a power play goal. And again, Detroit kind of lived on the power play a bit. And this is going to lead into some of the issues I had. But first, the positives. Nate Danielson, 200 feet, most noticeable player. I think that's why he has the edge to make the Detroit squad. On the forward core, Lombardi, there is no more tenacious attacker in the offensive zone. Lombardi, he set up an incredible goal for Becker, literally just skating the puck, opening the ice, and Becker gets wide open because of it. Lombardi is always on the attack in the offensive zone. He doesn't care how, if he's 5'10", because he plays like he's 6'3". Just goes in there, crash and bang, no problem. Shai Boyum, clearly the best 200-foot defenseman in both games, and you noticed him in every zone. He had a goal tonight, again, and it was a quick snapshot. He skated in to the face-off dot. Again, very aware. He barely missed a second assist on another goal where he was making plays with Christensen, who was walking the line. And that was Becker's goal. But Boyum just looks so ready to compete as a 200-foot defenseman for the Red Wings. And part of that is just because we know how shallow the left side is. And the right side's not exactly packed. But in terms of players who can really take on top 4 minutes, Detroit just has so many guys that can't play all three zones. Boyum has the skating, the endurance, where it feels like he should be able to knock someone out of a job at some point. Both Sandin-Pellikka and Brandsegg-Nygard, flashes of looking really good. Sandin-Pellikka, he uses his positioning and his hockey IQ to get out of bad situations where the puck gets behind him and he's not going to outskate the other player. He's able to tie up the stick, get the puck back. He's made so many smart plays with repositioning, finding the open man. Very, very solid passing, but I think he needs some time in the AHL just based on this very limited look. Brandsegg-Nygard, he'll kind of disappear for the game, but when you notice him, it's because he's making a huge play toward the net. And again, he had the assist on Danielson's goal. He drove in, he made that play. If Brandsegg-Nygard can add a physical component that's consistent for the entire game, whatever he ends up playing a night, 18, 19 minutes, if he can be physical and add defense to his game and just be noticeable for the entire game, very, very good pickup. Emmett Finney, absolute beast, made a huge shot block tonight that just would have hobbled so many guys. So there's a lot of positive. And again, this is just a prospects tournament. But I do want to go to what I felt I saw last night and what I felt I saw tonight. So last night, and I took a lot of notes that said this, Detroit was all run and gun. But when they were getting the saves in net, that's fine. They win 6-2. They made it work that way. But it was nerve-wracking how physical Dallas, once they engaged physically, they were able to really shut the Wings down for chunks of 5 minutes at a time, really quiet them down, and Dallas had the better team game last night and tonight. So what happens tonight? Detroit doesn't get those saves, give up early goals, and when Detroit is overcommitted on offense and counting on the power play, they can score 5 goals and lose a game. That should sound familiar to anyone who watched the team last year in the NHL, that the Red Wings could score 4, maybe even 5 goals and still lose a game. The power play should have been enough. You should, if you're scoring 4 goals, you should at least be getting to overtime in this, once you get to pro hockey, even AHL level. But again, Detroit goes into the third. They have a 4-2 lead. They let in an early goal on a Dallas power play. They get it back 5-3. Then they give up 3. So Dallas scores 4 in the third period. Commanding performance, not taking away from the Stars. But there's something about the Detroit system, whether it's the players they're bringing in or just even in the short time, and there were some AHL veterans on the team, the system is not built for a goalie who's even average at this point. If the goalie can't stand on their head right now, pucks are going in. And you looked at when Dallas was scoring, there were guys out of position. It's like they wanted to create that turnover so they could start the charge back up the ice. Finney, great shot block. Danielson, defensively, he's all over the place. But again, he's one player. There are just so many players thinking about offense. And that's what was happening on the main club. They just didn't have a goaltender that could bail out their defensive deficiencies. So this goes back to, and my friend mentioned it tonight, Detroit needing to get strong stay-at-home defensemen. But I don't think that's the issue in a loss like this and some of the losses last year. There is an organizational mentality of offense first and outscoring your mistakes. Again, I know it's a prospects game. I know they only played twice. But when you see the same habits from your 19-year-olds that you see from your 30-year-olds, that raises a red flag that there's something, whether it's in the water or what. Because Dallas, top to bottom, everybody knows what the system's going to be and everyone's going to play it. That's how that team is built. You come in, you become part of a 200-foot team. Detroit, when they won in 2008, when they won in 97 and 98, that was the team they were. They knew how to play both ends of the ice. 2002, kind of an anomaly. But that's been lost. And the surprising thing is, look who's in the office. All the players that Scotty Bowman taught how to be 200-foot players. So I don't know why it's not translating yet. Anyway, let me know your thoughts. I'm adding the goal clip at the end of this again. Thank you for tuning in. I'll be doing updates as camp starts, anything of interest, and certainly I'll be covering the red and white game and the preseason. Again, if you can, like, subscribe. Thank you for stopping by.
Now Lombardi looking for Bantle. Here's Bouillon on the doorstep, and he'll cash in on the power play goal. Shy Bouillon, a defenseman, but on the power play really has been shifting lower in the zone, and he cashes in on the rebound on the doorstep.
And where they had trouble getting the puck to where they were.
To Bouillon. He and Christensen go back and forth. Lombardi now. A low shot tipped in front, the rebound banked in by Bantle. So just like that, the Detroit Red Wings using the power play to even things up at 2-2. Carson Bantle on the doorstep finding the second chance.
Yeah, fortunate bounce there for Bantle, but that's where he makes his living. And
Things will turn it the opposite way. Kilfoyle with the burst. As he'll cut in, and a high backhander scores. What a goal from Kilfoyle to give the Wings the lead.
oh my, how about that one? Just when you think there was not much there. for the 18-year-old.
Now the helmet of Sandin-Pellikka had come off with more commotion, but the Wings at the opposite end score on the power play to make it a 4-2 lead.
I was so busy watching the carnage down beside the bench for the Dallas Stars, I missed the goal entirely. Quick little counter, another power play opportunity. We'll get a look at it here.
Nate Danielson on the finish.
We know that.
Led instead, bumped by Becker. Lombardi keeps it alive for the Wings. Holding, dancing, looking to open up something, spins out, and a one-timer off the stick of Becker beats it off the post.
Becker with the great shot, but this whole thing transpired because Erdl along the boards couldn't get it out. And wingers especially, you got to take your time. You got to make sure that the puck gets out, and didn't. So what happened? There's a quick transition from low. Lombardi again. Quick play, and then the shot.